Hello stars from 14 stars. I'm here again to talk a little bit more about wonder. Alright, as you know, as you've seen before, Summer is the new friend at school and she's having lunch with Augie every day at the cafeteria, and it's a very beautiful friendship because they've been talking together and she likes him very much because she feels like she can trust him to talk about everything she needs, everything she has in mind. And they decided to do the project, the history class project together, that is the Egyptian tomb, right? So in this chapter we see all the parents going to school to see the Egyptian project, what the students have prepared. And Summer and Augie, they did really nice things. Really, they were really interesting, the type of project that they've developed together. So, and this is the end of the part that talks about Summer, and we are going to know a little bit more about Jack Will. Yes, Jack was that guy whom Mr. Tushman asked, together with Charlotte and Julian, to show the school around to August. And Jack is a very nice boy, and we begin this part of the story knowing how was the call that his mother received from Mr. Tushman. Firstly, Jack didn't want to help, he didn't want to show the school, he didn't want to be there to help August, and he told his mother that he knew who the kid was. He told about how he met August for the first time. He mentioned the problem with August's face, and his mother was pretty annoyed with his behavior and with his brother's behavior too. And it was not something very nice. So his mother talked to him, and she said how important was to be nice towards people. And so Jack decided that the best thing to do was to help the new kid at the new school, because if him and if his brother, who is a nice boy, had reacted that awful way, he understood that life for August at Bridger Prep would be miserable, would be something terrible. And he didn't want August to be in trouble, to have a bad time at the new school, because he knew it would be something completely different from August's reality. So Jack decided to help. He accepted Mr. Tushman's invitation, right? And this is how he becomes August's friend, close friend, like Summer. And he also explains here why he made up his mind. That was exactly because of the type of behavior his little brother and he had some time ago, a while ago. That's why he decided to change his mind. And he even mentions in one of the pages that if a little kid like Jamie is Jack's brother, youngest brother, who's usually a nice enough kid, can be that mean, then a kid like August doesn't stand a chance in middle school. So, anyway, here we go. And, well, Jack decided that August is a very nice kid, that he is funny. And this is the reason why he decides to be friends with him. Not exactly because Mr. Tushman asked a favor, you know? And, well, the point is that during the history presentation that is Egyptian project, Jack noticed that August was not talking to him the way he used to do in the past. And he was very curious about what could have happened that made August change his mind towards Jack. Because he was kind of, couldn't care less. So he talked to Summer. He asked Summer, so what's going on? What happened? Why August is not talking to me? And the only thing that Summer mentioned was bleeding scream. Bleeding scream? How come? And Jack kept on thinking, what does she mean by bleeding scream? But we know that Summer is a really nice friend, and she would never betray August. She would never tell his secret. She would never spill the beans. No way, no dice. So Jack was curious. He wanted to know what bleeding scream, how it was related to the fact that August was not talking to Jack anymore. Well, and this comes the period of time when it's winter in New York. It's snowy, it's very cold. And this is the first time when we see that Jack Will, differently from the other kids at Breacher Prep, is a child, is a boy whose family doesn't have much money. And because of that, differently from Julian, for example, he cannot afford to have expensive things, expensive objects. So one day he found a bobsled abandoned somewhere, in fact in a place called Skeleton Hill. That is a place famous because it is said that a kid died there. Whoa! So it's considered kind of a spooky place. So Jackie Will found an old bobsled abandoned there at Skeleton Hill, and he took it home and he fixed it. And now he has a new bobsled to play during winter when it is snowy and when the parks are all covered with snow everywhere. The point is that the other kids made jokes about that when they were talking about this thing related to the bobsled. And one thing that is interesting to highlight is this chapter that is very short, that is called Fortune Favors the Bold. This is one of Mr. Brown's precepts. It's his December precept. And it says that fortune favors the bold. Well, and he asked the students from the 5th grade to write a paragraph about it. And about some time in their lives where they did something very brave, and how, because of it, something good happened to them, right? And this explains the precept, fortune favors the bold. So, Jack Will thought about that a lot. And he has to say that he thinks the bravest thing he has ever done was become friends with August in a moment when nobody wanted to be his friend. So, I believe it's just my 2 cents that this example explains very well December precept, as Mr. Brown's asked them. Well, we understand that Jack Will comes from a poor family. His father is a teacher and his mother works as a social assistant, and they live in a small house. He doesn't have his own bedroom. He shares the bedroom with his brother. His financial situation is completely different from August and Julian and Summer and the other kids. So they don't have money to afford for certain things that the other kids have at school. And well, there is a moment during the class when Jack is thinking about a lot of things and how he doesn't like science classes because he sucks at science. He doesn't like science. He doesn't like to be at school. And this is the moment when he has an insight and he remembers what Summer meant with Bleeding Scream. And he realized how evil, how mean he was with his friend August. Yeah, guys. Jack Will is feeling really, really bad because of what he did. And there is this project, this science project, and Julia insists in doing this project together with Jack, but Jack wants to do it with August, even because the science teacher divided the class in pairs, and she said that Jack would do the project with August. Julia insisted, and he called August a freak, and this is the moment that Jack Will loses his mind and he punches Julian on his face, and he's in detention because of that. One of the rules of the school is that you cannot, definitely not, you cannot punch your classmates. You cannot punch anyone. And Mr. Tushman kind of gives him a second chance because he knows deep inside that there was a good reason for Jack to do what he did, although there is no excuse for violence. But Mr. Tushman deep inside understands. And that's it. Okay? So, we'll end this part with Season's greetings. When Jack Will is talking to his mother and showing her Christmas card that they received from August's family. And his mother says how important is to be grateful for the things that they have. Okay? Thank you very much. Keep reading your book and see you next time. Bye!